the reasons why the husband is going for a second wife may not be known to her. The man says he wants to get married to another woman because he needs a male child.
You have more failing politicians who are male. You have more embezzlers who are male.
If this very lady now was your daughter, what would be your best advice to her?
Polygamy does not help society.
Now here's a story about a lady who's been married for 8 years, happily married for 8 years. And all of a sudden, the husband comes home one day and says, "Hey baby, I think I need to get a second wife." Just imagine how that would have hit the woman, how hard that would have hit the woman. Of course, and that's what she said. It hit her so hard that she started processing a lot of things. You know, she said to us that she can't bring herself to accepting a second wife into her home. Primarily for of course, for several reasons, but for one major reason. Her family is a very reputable religious family in our society, in Nigeria at large. So she can. It will be a scandal. It will be a dent on the family's image, saying that the daughter of this person is married to a polygamist. She has tried to talk her husband out of it, but the husband keeps coming up with one major reason, that they only have 3 daughters. And as a man, an African man, a typical Nigerian man, sadly, he wants a male child to continue his lineage, you know. And she's now in a crossroad to decide if she should stay, endure the marriage, allow the man have his way, since it's a man's world, according to most men out there, or just walk out of the marriage, take her 3 daughters, walk out of the marriage. She's not poor, her parents are well-to-do, and go live her life somewhere else and let the man have his way with his new bride. But it's up to you to decide. What do you think she should do? Should she just pack up her things and walk out, or endure the marriage? Or maybe there are some other recommendations you could bring her way as a result of an experience you must have had, or someone close to you. All right, it's very important that you share these experiences in the comment section and give her your own advice on the best step to take. I'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Share with Noble, and my name is Valentine Agogo. And I'm here on set with 2 gentlemen. On my right is Mr. Gray Amona. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And on my left is Mr. Augustine Omilo.
No, comrade.
Comrade, yeah. I was going to say comrade,
Yeah.
but I don't know how come Mr. came out of my mouth.
I like that title.
Yeah, I know you love the title. Mr. came out of my mouth, my mistake.
Okay.
So, Comrade Augustine Omilo.
Sorry for addressing me as a Mr.
All right, sir. Okay, so you heard the story. Let me start with you, Mr. Gray. What do you think she should do in this case?
And the story simply shows that the man, is bent on having his way, and it doesn't. The story does not bring out the man as a humble, listening husband. And when you want to add a woman to a family, when there's already one, on the rather outmoded pretext of daughter's son lineage, something, you are creating more problems, because there's no way, whether African or hyper-African or super-African, polygamy does not help society. Whichever way you look at it.
Polygamy doesn't help society.
Polygamy will not help, whether European society, African society, or Jewish or Israeli society. There's conflict. There's conflict, and even as the economy, the social economy is getting more, aggressive, there will be problems. So the woman will not do herself any good to remain in that marriage. That's the candid truth, because the story simply shows that the man is, the
mind is made up already.
Yeah, the condescending type, who decides that he's right before any other thing. That is the kind of man this story
Yes.
brings out a picture of the kind of man that is making the Nigerian political system, a Sahara Desert kind of experience.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Comrade, what do you advise?
Yes, I'll beg to disagree with Grace more.
Okay.
Yes, because the woman is actually building a mountain out of a molehill. What I mean by that is, the man says he wants to get married to another woman because he needs a male child. Is it a male child or he gets? Oh, no, well,
Yeah, he needs a male child. He has 3 girls already.
He has 3 girls already. Now, if this woman were to marry the man when the man had married a wife before, that would have been where I would have problem with that, because she would have been going into polygamy by herself. Now she married the man when the man was not married, and she is the first wife of the man. Now the man decides to marry another woman. That is not her own making, and she will not bother herself. The reason is because now the man has said because he wants a male child. It's not the man that decides which sex comes to him. I give you an instance. A man passed through the same experience before. I'm just saying it because if the woman is prayerful, the problem can be resolved without her stressing herself.
Okay.
Now, this man, when he was having a male children, and he felt he needed a female child. The reverse is the case now with this woman.
Yes.
Now, he went into another woman. The wife at home didn't bother. And in fact, they were not even as Christian as I think this one is. The woman didn't bother herself. Okay, you want a child from somewhere, go ahead. But, my children must be taken care of in this house. The man got that wife, and the wife gave him a child. But the funny thing is that at the time the woman from outside now got pregnant, the same one in the house got also pregnant. All of them gave birth to female children.
Wow.
Yes. Now, at the fullness of time, this man discovered that his business was crumbling. And in Africa, you have to ascribe your failure to something and all that.
Yes.
And it was discovered that this woman and her child,
The new wife.
yes, and the newfound love now was behind the failure of this man in business. And in fact, because the girl was living in their house, because each time they talk about deliverances and all that, they discovered that the girl was the one tormenting the father. The man had to drive the girl away
With her daughter.
And all that. The woman at home was just watching. So the summary of it all is that the man later came back to himself and stuck to the woman that he married first. I don't know now what has happened to the second one. So if this woman if he has to be patient and be prayerful to God, if there's something he can do by herself to stop this man, because the man is not a giver of child, neither is she the giver of child. So she just has to pray and let her stay in her marriage to ensure that the children are properly brought up.
Okay, very, very quick one, Mr. Gray. This syndrome of African men always wanting a male child, how do you think this can be changed in our society today for African men to most African men to start appreciating the girl child and give them as much preference as they do with the male child? Let me just take you back to there was a popular company in Africa and in Nigeria here who did an advert, and during the advert, a pregnant woman delivered a child. Okay, delivered a child, and in the adverts, as a matter of fact, by reflex, the advert said in the acting, they came out and said during the advert said, "Mama na boy." Do you understand? So then they said, "Mama na boy." So it shows representation again with the African mentality, all right? And everybody rejoiced. And immediately, I think that advert was pulled down and redone again and became "Mama, he don't born." That's all. No need to refer to the sex. So by default, the African mindset is already biased about the girl child. How do you think we can change that narrative?
It will be difficult to change.
Okay.
Yes, the African history is about propagation of the masculine factor in development. It's very difficult, and there's no way modern society can abandon the spirit of village life. Which, if you read the things all apart, you see Okonkwo's obsession about the male child. Despite that the Ezima factor to all tries to bring him to understand. And so somehow, the African society, indigenous African society has a heavy prejudice in favor of the male child. Incidentally and quite unfortunately, today I don't know whether the African society sees itself in the mirror, because the problems of contemporary society are hinged on the male. The bandit, you have more male bandits. You have more failing politicians who are male. You have more embezzlers who are male. Forget those that women embezzlers that want to extradite to Nigeria.
Yeah.
That is a drop in an ocean. Otherwise, the history of accumulation Nigerian political system is male. So yes, they worship the male child, but I know that that is the nature of the African.
Why?
Yes.
Why the preference? Is that the male child usually more successful
the
than
reason?
the female?
African society started on the agrarian platform. Farm.
Okay.
The farm is the matrix of African
so
social life.
That's the foundation.
And the more you work on the farm and
more
use
successful.
heavy biceps to produce a bands of yams, the better for the
system. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and earlier you were insistent on the lady just walking out since the husband is adamant that he's made up his mind.
But I was also silently educated by Comrade Milo's observation about prayer. Prayer is key to change. Prayer is key. Christ started with prayer and ended with prayer. Prayer could work, but another problem is if prayer works and the ego of the man is a problem. I think we're at the end of the day we not depend on the divine intervention. Okay,
so let me come to you, Comrade Milo. You talked about the woman praying her way out of a situation, but besides her praying now, how do you see this whole thing playing out? Because your suggestion is let him go ahead and possibly make the same mistake with the story you just gave. Yeah. If that same story doesn't play out, this new wife comes in, has the male child this man is looking for. Don't you think the atmosphere will change against this lady, and if she remains in that relationship, it will be a very toxic relationship?
Yeah, you see, life is, principally speaking now, life generally relies on principles. So, and principles means choices.
Yeah.
So it is her choice to be happy. It is her choice to also accomplish whatever she wants to accomplish without or with the husband, or the children. Okay. Now, if the prayer doesn't work, and in fact, even if he doesn't even pray, and this is still don't happen the way I'm thinking of it now, you should just relax, because the reasons why the husband is going for a second wife may not be known to her. Even if it may not even be known to the husband is only relying on the fact that he wants a male child or something. It is more than that, because there are principles that govern here. And if there is something that wants to play out by way of reciprocal actions, on earth here, there's something the lady can do. But if she's patient, at the fullness of time, she will see how the benefit of being in that marriage, and also the benefit of ignoring the man. She is not burdening herself with other guilt, as a result of being nagging, unnecessarily about what the husband is going to do, because if there is going to be punishment for somebody going into polygamy, the punishment will not be on her.
It could be on the man.
It could be on the man.
What about the side effects from the part of the children?
No. The children now, it depends on what you tell the children. Now, the children also are not privy to what their father decided to do. And therefore, it's not binding on them, because you just came to the world. It's not as if when you were coming, you applied that you are going to have Mr. Okonkwo as your father. Okay. You just came and it's called that Okonkwo is your father. And therefore, that what Okonkwo did now as your father, the only way you can make sure you disengage yourself from it is by learning the lesson from it and avoiding the repercussion and the implications of it. So for me, the woman should not, if the man marries a second wife, it's not the sin of the woman. So she's only looking at the parents as maybe being members of a church or churches, or maybe...
What if she's concerned about the safety of her children? Because by the time she has this third party coming into the family, she might not be so free with herself and her children and their safety. So I think that might be some of her concern. And is it possible that the man could have probably be in a relationship with this other lady and just looking for an excuse to bring her into the home to legalize their relationship.
Yes.
Is there anything she can do about that? Probably approach the lady or just let it be?
No. She should not bother about approaching the lady, because just like she's feeling that her children may not be free again. The woman that is coming from outside is even the one that should be more bothered, that she's coming to a place where ordinarily does not belong to her. Yes, she knows that this man already has a wife and he has children, and you want to come there. The risk is more on the one that is coming in from outside. So herself that is inside already doesn't have anything to fear, honestly speaking. And even if there's going to be any hiccups as a result of the woman coming, maybe the man instead of down relating with the woman without bringing her in, it's not this woman at home. It's not her business at all. Let the repercussion rest upon the head of the man that is bringing this problem to the house, and she should not entangle herself with the kind of approach she's going to bring, so that she will not be part of whatever repercussion that is going to be placed on the man.
Okay, so for final word from you, Uncle Gray, you know, with everything Commodore Gosumila has already said, how do you see this playing out? If let me just be very direct. If this very lady now was your daughter, what would be your best advice to her in this situation?
Yes, I will ask her to quietly confer with the husband if he's still intent on bringing another woman. If the husband is still intent, and if God gives me the chance to live again in this world, I will never go near a polygamous, unit. Whichever way you look, whether a new entrant or old occupant, polygamy creates conflict, and the man does not suffer it now, because the man is outside enjoying his.
So are you saying she should walk out of it?
That's provides for that. I say, he confer with the husband. If the husband is intent, I will say, please, my daughter, come out of the conflict.
For your life's sake.
The conflict. You said you hit the nail on the head. Safety, security of the children and the woman. Some women that come in last are more aggressive than those that are already in. Yes. That's
okay. Well, that's as much as we can take for this episode. Well, on this hand, Mr. Gray is saying if he's still fixed on bringing in the other woman, he's advising that you should just take a walk and leave the marriage, irrespective of what the society will think, because he's more concerned about your security and the security and safety of your children. While Comrade Ogosomilo believes that you might be making a mountain out of a molehill, and that you should just see the process through and endure the process, and it will surely play out in your favor, because you have an advantage, home advantage. It's your terrain, so you need to dominate your terrain, and don't let anyone come from outside, away match now, come and dominate you in your terrain. That you can still gain control over the relationship, over the marriage, despite the presence of a third party. And who knows, in a short while, that person might be kicked out by herself, saying fully well that he's not able to come between you and your husband and your family. In other words, you can't love him less, you can't show him less attention, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you do normally, just continue to do what you do, and most importantly, pray. And it's possible that things can turn around in your favor. All right, so that's Comrade Omilo's take. But it's up to you now, if you're out there, to make your own input on how best you think she should approach this issue. All right, how best you think she should approach this issue. All right, knowing fully well that she's from a reputable religious family, and there's a divorce on the line, most likely a divorce on the line, or a polygamous marriage to settle, to just live with, right? But it's up to you now. Please do leave your comments in the comment section. Tell us what you think from your personal experience or experience of someone close to you that you'd really love to share with us. All right, so please don't forget to like, share, drop your comments, and subscribe. And most importantly, do click on the notification button to get similar prompt updates on Share with Noble.